Hey, Taurus sisters, it's Amy. Yes, it is nighttime. Well, it's Michigan in the winter, so it's always nighttime, and I'm sitting in my car. I am working on getting a little studio set up, but honestly, we have a small house, and with kids, sometimes this is the best place to go and make a video where I'm not disturbing them or making them have to be quiet and stay out of the room. So I want to tell you a story of something that happened tonight, both so that, I don't know, you can give me feedback if you think I could have handled it better, and also, mostly though, to encourage those of you who are new to keeping Torah and you're feeling misunderstood. I want to encourage you that I too feel misunderstood by my Christian friends and family who not only do they not understand what on earth I'm doing, but I don't think they're even listening to me when I tell them. I don't think they want to understand. I think it's like just goes over their head somehow. I'm not judging them because I think it used to go over my head too. But I want to encourage you, and I'm going to start telling you more stories, I think, of like real life scenarios of how I handle these situations, or stories, if my friends want to share their stories and things so that we can learn. Hopefully you can learn from my mistakes too, because I'm not perfect in how I handle these things all the time. So here's what happened. This evening, it is Friday evening at Shabbat. I was leaving. I was at the hospital with someone, and everything's fine. Don't worry. And then on the way home from the hospital, I had someone with me in my car, someone close to me. And I said, oh, look, I said, I should have gotten gas earlier. I'm not sure I'll have enough gas to get to church tomorrow. And yes, I call Sabbath gatherings church, especially when I'm with my Christian family. Anyway, and they said, oh, we'll just stop and get some. I don't mind, because I was taking this person home. And I said, oh, no, it's after dark. I can't stop and get gas. I'll work it out. It'll be fine. And I kind of regretted having even said it out loud. And they said, well, stop and I'll get the gas. They said that they would pay for the gas and they would pump the gas. And to me, that's the same thing as me stopping and buying the gas. To do it on my behalf is the same thing. And I said, no, it's okay. I don't want to do that. I'll work it out. And honestly, I'll tell you, if I realize I don't have enough gas to get to my gathering tomorrow on Shabbat, then we're just not going to the gathering. I don't think it's right to break Shabbat and get gas so that I can go worship on Shabbat. You don't break Shabbat to do Shabbat. So me and my kids, if I realize I don't have enough gas, we're just going to stay home tomorrow. And that is what it is. I wasn't expecting to spend the whole day at the hospital, but that's how it is. As it turns out, I think we'll have enough gas. Anyway, or I could borrow a car, or, I have anyway, side topic. So this person said, well, why, they said, well, you have to draw the line somewhere. And I didn't understand. And I said, well, I'm drawing the line right here. I'm not going to get gas. That's my line. And they said, no, but that's not what they meant. And they said, well, but you're driving the car anyway. And I did not understand what they were talking about now. And I told them, I said, what? And they said, well, you won't stop and buy gas for the car, but you're driving the car on the Sabbath. I was still really confused for a minute, and some of you were already like, you know what this is. But I'm a little slow on the draw. and then it dawned on me. It did eventually dawn on me after a full, probably awkward 60 seconds. And I said, well, there's no reason for me to not be able to drive the car. And they said, what? And I said, I can't get gas because that's breaking a Bible. And so this is when I start using words like Bible. It's breaking a Bible command to not buy stuff on Shabbat. And I don't go to a restaurant because then I'm breaking a Bible command to not only pay for something on Shabbat, but to make someone work for me on Shabbat. I said, but driving my car is permitted on Shabbat. I use the word Sabbath again with them, but I said, I can drive my car on the Sabbath. So here's what I realized, and some of you might not get this yet either, is that this person thinks that driving a car is breaking the Sabbath. And so then I further explained to this person, I said, some Jewish people will not drive a car on the Sabbath because they are following rules made by rabbis at some point who said it is against the law to drive a car on the Sabbath. But that's a law made by a man, a rabbi. I said, I don't follow those rules necessarily. Well, I didn't say I don't follow rabbis' rules. I follow the Bible rules. So I'm now with this person distinguishing. But here's the thing. I was really shocked that I had to do the distinguishing again of man rules and Bible rules. Now, I understand if that person has a hard time remembering which are which, because to them it's such a weird, strange, foreign thing. And to a lot of us, we're still sometimes figuring out what is a Jewish oral, Talmudic, or rabbinical rule or law, and what is just strictly Bible, or what is just a family house rule. We're always trying to distinguish and discern these. But this is a big one, like driving a car. And then I've had this conversation with this person before. I know I have. So here's the thing. I'm just realizing again how misunderstood I am by them. And second, how I don't think that they hear me. Because I know I've said this before, but I don't think they hear me. Like their ears hear the sound coming in, but it's not processing that there's different kinds of laws and that I'm not just doing Jewish stuff. I do some Jewish stuff. They're my brothers and they have a lot of tradition that is wonderful. And there's certainly some of it I can glean and learn from and do. And I have a lot in common with them because they do Sabbath and all these things. But I'm not like obligated or beholden to follow all of the rabbinical laws, and that there is even a difference. I don't even think a lot of our Christian friends and family know that there's a difference. So I guess whenever the Father gives me the opportunity, like tonight, I had a beautiful opportunity to again distinguish, and maybe someday they will hear it, right? But choose your words carefully, speak slowly, use words like a man-made rule and a Bible rule or law or whatever word you want to use there. Those are the differences, because some of our Christian friends, not all of them, some of my Christian friends, I feel like they're trying to sort of catch me out, right? If at the time I'm trying to keep one command and they can point out that I'm breaking some other command, they're going to say, well, why bother doing any of it? Which, of course, is taken completely out of context. Of course, I could say back right to them, have you ever sinned? Of course, have you sinned today even? And of course, their answer is probably, yup. Then why do you even try? Here's the thing. The people who try to catch us, I acknowledge to them, I'm like, you're going to catch me sinning sometime. You're probably going to catch me messing up the Sabbath or messing up a feast or, getting it wrong here and there. But I will not give up on it, and I will not stop trying, because you shouldn't be following me anyway. That's the thing. Like, what is the big deal if they catch us sinning? We're not the ones they ought to be looking at. Yeshua, of course, is the one that they should be looking at. So, but it is disheartening, isn't it, when we're misunderstood and when we've tried to explain it. So, again, for most of the people in my life, I don't get opportunities for big, long discussions. But these little things here and there, I just will remind them, here's what I'm doing, here's what I'm not doing. I'm not following rules necessarily that the Jews follow. That's not the standard I'm looking at. I'm looking at the Bible and I'm looking at Yeshua. That is my standard. That is the mark that I'm shooting for. And you just have to keep reminding people, apparently, even after years and years and years. So when you are misunderstood, don't be angry. It is frustrating, but don't voice that out loud. Just correct, distinguish, and move on in love. And don't break Torah. Don't do it. People are watching us like crazy. I mean, don't do it just because it's wrong. But if you are tempted to stop for gas and someone's watching you, that ought to be enough right there. If pleasing the Father in heaven isn't enough, that ought to be enough. They're going to catch you and they will never let you forget it. So don't do it. Keep your testimony clean before men. And besides that, you don't need gas. It'll work out. Don't break Shabbat. It'll work out. But anyway, if you have any stories of your own, I don't want to bash people here. I'm not bashing this person. They genuinely do not understand what I do. They just don't get it. But if you have stories on this subject and how you handled it, or suggestions, or how you got people, like, how can I get this person to understand what I do after all these years? Is there a better way I could have said it? You can leave a comment. Let's have a little discussion. And do you like hearing these sort of situations? Do you want to hear more of these things? Especially those of you who are new. Those of you who are wiser, older, and done this longer than me, you have probably seen it all. All right, that's it. Shabbat Shalom, sisters. Good night.